Okay, so now that we saw how it kind of looks like as a template, right? So let's take a look at what it looks like as once you put down the different rep schemes and percentages. Okay, so for example, day one for our back squat, we did talk about how that week is submax effort method. And so you can see how you can see where it's reps. You got 5 on the rep column all the way down, 5 sets of 5, and then the different percentages, right? We're looking at about 75 to 80%. So 2 sets are done at 75%, and then 3 sets are done at 80%. And you can see in the left-hand column, you can see the different color schemes. So you can kind of get an idea of what the rep schemes and percentages kind of represent. So the teal, the max effort, so it's above 85%, and then you got your submax, and then your dynamic effort, which is your green, okay? And that's kind of how it breaks up. So for the second week, you can see we've got a combination. We've got a combination of all three. So we have our dynamic effort method, we have our submax effort method, and then we have one set at 85%. So we are hitting a little bit of our max effort during that time, okay? In week 3, you can see the majority of our lifts are done at the max effort. So we're really maxing out during that week. Our week 4 is more of a dynamic effort because it's kind of our deload. So our rep schemes are a little lower and our intensity is a little lower as well, okay? You can see A1 and A2 for my back squat. Usually I like to partner it up and pair it up with some footwork, either some iso footwork or some just some regular heel raises. Okay, so we're going back and forth. So you can see week 1 and week 3 we do iso footwork, and week 2 and week 4 we do some heel raises, just to kind of help strengthen that foot. Okay, obviously everything comes from the foot, from the ground to the foot. So we want to make sure that our feet are strong, okay? And you can see in our day 1, so here's our tier 2. So we're still doing a 5x5 in the first week. We got repeated effort on the second week, and then we have max effort on the third week, and then dynamic on the fourth week, which is our deload week, okay? Our biceps are accessories, are more of repeated effort, okay? So anywhere from 8 to 12, as you can see there. And then our pull-ups, we're doing a combination. So the first week, you can see submax effort. And then week 2 is repeated. Week 3 is max effort, okay? So we're really trying to get stronger during those points, okay? So it just depends on the different tiers. So then the tier 4 for day 1, we've got it is our total body exercises. So that's where our power comes in. So you can see that our banded jumps are more of a dynamic effort. Okay, so we're going dynamic. And then we have some hamstring slides. So that's more of a repeated effort. Also with our anti-extension. So ab wheels or plank slides, whichever, any anti-extension exercise that you may use. We're doing repeated effort method there. Okay. So that's kind of how day 1 looks like when we add our reps and our sets and our intensity. Here's day 2, very similar, but just a couple things switched around, right? So for week 1, we're looking at max effort. For week 2, it's a combination of all three. And then for week 3, it is our submax effort. Week 4, once again, our deload, which is our dynamic, okay? Then we're looking at our weighted jumps, which is a dynamic total body exercise. As you can see in the green, we're looking more of a dynamic effort method there, okay? For our tier 3 for the day 2, you can see there's a lot more of especially our accessories are in that tier. So you can see there's a lot more of the red, which is our repeated effort method, okay? But you can see the max effort is done on the first week as well. And then we got submax on the third week, okay? Now let's go into day 3. Day 3, we start off with power clean. So we'll start off with more of a dynamic effort. So you can see all the green there. It really starts off with more of the dynamic effort method there. Med ball slams, obviously dynamic effort. And then for day 3, our tier 2 is our lower body, so our front squats. And our front squats, we kind of do a combination of them all, right? So except for we won't do repeated effort with our big core lifts. You can see we've got a combination of max effort, submax, and dynamic effort method for our lifts during those 4 weeks. Okay, our single leg hinge, we'll do a combo. We'll do some repeated effort method, and we'll also do some max effort. Okay. Day 3, our tier 3. You can see a lot of red, so there's a lot of repeated effort method there. And you'll see a little bit of orange and some teal in there that will throw in some submax to max effort as well, okay, for the entire month. All right. And that's kind of what the month really looks like for those entire 3 days. And this is, this chart right here is something that I use to just kind of keep track of for example, our squats, how we distribute the volume by intensity zones. We really try to keep our average relative intensity anywhere about 75 to 72%, as you can see here, once I've added it all up and all our rep schemes and all our percentages for our squats. You can see it comes out to about 73.6. Okay, so that's kind of a good average relative intensity for our high school athletes. And that's kind of how I figured it out there. Okay, so the different zones that we use for the different methods. Okay, this one here is for our single leg squats. We're at 74% average relative intensity. And then for our front squats, we're at about 74% as well. Okay, so kind of where we want to be with our relative intensity. Okay, so just count out all the reps, and then we just figure out what that average is. Okay, so once we add up all the reps for our main core lifts, this is actually how it comes out. Okay, the goal was 960, but you can see the actual total number of lifts were at about 976. Okay, so not too bad. So we're pretty close to where we wanted to be. So 27% of our lifts are squats. So that could be back squats, single leg squats, and front squats. Okay, our pulls were about 24%. Our cleans and jumps were at about 19. Our presses 16. Our hip hinge about 14. So pretty good, pretty close to where we wanted it to be when we first started. Okay. Now, once we put it all together, you can kind of see this is what the card looks like. Okay, so day 1, day 2, and the different weeks. So you're reading it horizontally. Okay, all the way down. Here's day 3. Here's what it looks like, and you can actually see we also have this chart where our students can kind of look at what their maxes are, and they can see the different percentages what weight they should be lifting. And this is kind of what it looks like in the weight room. Okay, so we've got all the sheets on the rack. We've got both sheets. So we got the workout on the left, and then we have the percentages where they're figuring out what weight they're utilizing. Okay, so it's kind of what the workouts look like, and this is how we piece it together. And every rack has these for our student athletes, so you can kind of see, so they can kind of see what they're lifting, what their lift is, and what weight they should be lifting.